Hey, I want to have a conversation today about having a growth mindset. This is part one. I'm not sure how many parts I'll do, but I know there's a lot of layers to this topic. So I just want to talk briefly about my journey and how it's helped me, and I have a suspicion you're going to benefit immensely as well. So the first thing that we have to do as entrepreneurs in establishing a growth mindset is we first have to want to do it. Okay. Oftentimes we're motivated out of survival mechanisms. Like I can't go back to work for a company, or I can't fail because of X, Y, or Z. Oftentimes we're motivated from a fear-based strategy. And that's actually not wanting to do something. That's like coercing yourself to do something, right? That's not a good idea. It's a short-term fix for a bigger issue that's going on in you. So the first thing you want to do is ask yourself, do I actually want to be doing this? And the way you can cultivate that is just like notice the simple things in life, like I want to eat this, and just say, am I forcing myself to eat this because it's good for me, or do I actually want to? So start dialing in the want mechanism in you, the desire, the wanting, and then ask yourself, is this coming from habit, or is this coming from a genuine desire to, that's what I want, right? It could be like buying music. It could be buying a piece of furniture. It could be deciding to go outside in the sun for a change instead of sitting behind the computer all day long. Whatever it is for you, practice cultivating, do I actually want this? This is especially important with agreements that we make. Agreements with ourselves and agreements with others. Do you actually want to make that agreement? So that's a big portal. And if you study that, you'll start seeing where you are manipulating yourself in order to move forward into something. And we actually don't want to be doing that. We want to actually get so in touch with, oh, absolutely, I want to be doing this, because that's where the passion emerges. That's where your sense of trusting yourself emerges from. All right, so that's one aspect of it. Another is if we're feeling insecure in ourselves, which is part of this whole fear thing, we're going to start like looking for ways to compensate for that insecurity. One of those is we depend on a certain guru, or we listen to a video that emotionally affects us, and then we stop doing what our strategic plan was doing, and we run off and we go do something else, only to figure out that a few days later we watch a different video, and that tugs us in a whole new direction. So those things come from insecurity. Those behaviors come from insecurity. All right. And you're going to hear me preach this over and over and over again. You want to dial in what I call the felt sense. What does it feel like to feel insecure? What does it feel like to feel secure? Those are two really important distinctions that you need to make in your body. And the way you do that is you just keep checking in. Do I feel like calm? Am I numbed out? A lot of people say, oh, I feel great. And the truth is, when you investigate it, they actually feel numbed out in their body because they're on autopilot. That was an issue for me for many, many years, until one day I decided to be brutally honest with myself, and I started checking in going, am I feeling insecure right now? Or what's that feeling? What's the feeling of insecurity? And then I started noticing it when it would come up, and it would come up before I'd even be consciously aware of it, because I could feel it in my body. And sometimes it would show up out of nowhere. Okay, I could be driving down the road and I was like, whoa, I'm feeling really scared right now, or insecure about my life or something. And the only like explanation I can give for that is sometimes these patterns get habituated in our bodies, and they're just begging to be resolved. And so the more you become brutally honest with yourself, the easier it is to see them and to resolve them. All right. So learn to be brutally honest with yourself. What am I wanting right in this moment? Drink of water, some food, to sit down. Like I like to stand at my desk, and sometimes I'm just like, I'm really tired, I want to sit down. And then just notice what it feels like to actually follow through on that. Okay. So that brings me to our last point, which is when you are brutally honest with yourself, you'll start seeing where you become distracted, right? Now, if we have this growth mindset, that means growth is interpreted a certain way, right? And so what we want is to say, what is my definition of growth? Is it, like for me right now, it's just to get my YouTube videos optimized because I never did a good job at that. And I've noticed a trending upward when I go in and optimize them. Some of them I've even removed because they're terrible. So I'm committed, first of all, to getting that piece of the work in place because my strategy includes optimized videos and optimized topics to talk about so people like you are interested in them. All right, so that's a lot right there if you think about it. Like if my behavior is let's just talk and put it up there and just hope for the best, well, I may not get a growth mindset outcome with that kind of thinking. So I'm learning through various ways to be honest with myself, to say, wait a minute, here's my strategy, but I'm actually not doing it. I'm actually doing these other things that are stealing my time away and causing me to drift off course when if I just give it a chance and stay with the strategy for a while, then see what happens, okay? Now, when I'm brutally honest with myself, I start seeing where I drift. In the past week, I've watched myself go, oh, I see how I convince myself to make it okay to drift over here, right? And when I stop and go, is that what I really want to do? Now I'm getting somewhere because I'm actually able to go inside and investigate in myself. Like I am like really good at bullshitting myself. So if I can stop doing that, I guarantee you, and it's already showing, my trending in my YouTube videos is moving upward. Why? Because I'm pulling myself in. It's like a ship that's trying to go to, let's say, Hawaii. It's got a long ways to travel and it's going to drift off course multiple times, and the radar system keeps nudging it backwards because there's different winds and currents in the ocean that pull that ship off course. The same with a plane trying to fly to Australia from the United States or something. They drift off course many times, but that mechanism inside just keeps redirecting them back to where they actually need to be going. We need to take responsibility for doing this for ourselves. So I hope this is useful. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. That really helps the rankings on Google, so it sends more traffic my way, and that of course encourages me to look more closely at these topics and express to you what has worked for me, and hopefully you get a better result. So many blessings. I hope your business is thriving, and I look forward to getting your feedback. Bye for now.